People are recording. So I'm telling you all, I'm recording now.
Okay. Okay, so what's up, guys? Welcome back to our new episode of 24-Bit Podcast. My name is Nick Kanali.
Okay, I'm Dickson Otieno.
Chenze Emmanuel.
Yes, and Kaluka is away today again. Yeah, guys, today I'm going to talk about, something that probably most of us have really been waiting for. And it's about, of course, there's this conversation about going cashless, and this came about with the COVID situation. Everyone going cashless. The government insisting for to pay money to pay, for goods and services, cashless. And now the idea of public transport system or Matatus going cashless has now come out. And, as far as I know, last week, it's a story that has been going on, all over about NTSA discussing, coming up with regulations and even inviting bids for guys to actually come and submit, ideas on how they can actually make the Matatu industry go cashless. First things first, do you think this is a good idea?
Going cashless is a good idea. Rushing to go cashless is what I feel is not a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
I share similar sentiments. Cashless, yes, good idea. If it were up to me, I'd just be able to do everything possible on my phone. Because for a while, I've been doing that with various other means and on and off though, because at some point you realize the costs. I think we've talked about this before. The transaction cost and everything add up. So going cashless always a good idea. But I saw the government statement. They want to make it mandatory. That's where they go wrong.
No, why not?
Yes.
Like really, we need to get to the point where this is no one ever woke up and forced M-Pesa on us. We adopted it. Mm-hmm. So if they're going to say everyone needs to go cashless, well, it's the government. They have means of getting people to do what they want. Mm-hmm. They can scare people, they can threaten, they can intimidate. But that's the worst approach, and it's setting themselves up for failure for something that should be very successful and can be very successful if approached the right way. But just waking up and making a declaration, it will be mandatory and everything just like that. Well, it will be interesting to see what becomes of that.
Yeah, but I saw the chairman of the Matatu Association of Kenya, I think his name is Mutai or something, talking about how they are ready to embrace this. So I'm actually surprised.
First of all, Kanali, he has been chairman since I was in class 5, I'm a 4.
Yeah.
Yes. Which one is that? There's the Mbugua guy and there's another.
There's a Kale guy called Mutai or something. Something Mutai, I think. Yeah, but I know
the chairman of Matatu amekuwa hapo tangu niwe mtoto, so I don't trust.
The guy for the owners association should be some Mbugua guy.
Somebody Mbugua. Some light-skinned guy.
Wachana the light skin. The one I'm talking about is darker in complexion. I just can't remember the name. But that guy has been around for as long as I've been reading newspapers, which is a while.
Actually, the guy is called what is his name? His name is Simon Kimutai. Yes.
Yes.
Chairman of the Matatu and Owners Association.
Yeah, Kimutai has been there for. Is the what?
The chairman of the Matatu Association, Matatu's Owners Association.
Matatu Owners Association. See, it's this guy.
And Dickson Mbugua is what? Is the Welfare Association.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Those guys, I actually don't know anyone at the helm of those bodies. I've been seeing Mbugua in the news on newspapers since I was a child, and I think it's the same case with Kimutai. It's been a while.
Mm.
Yeah.
But I'm actually surprised that even for them, they're really ready to embrace this. Well, I think if I remember very well, when the idea of going cashless, even the idea of just embracing any type of technology in the Matatu industry, they were the same guys who are actually against it. So I'm actually surprised that why are they supporting this right now? And what has changed?
We have seen a couple of tries into going cashless. There was the Beba what? There was 1968. What was it called? 1968? 1963 card. Yeah. There was the Google initiative. Safaricom also had an initiative some time back. Equity had an initiative. KCB Bank tried something. So why they could say that they are very ready right now and they haven't been ready all these years, one makes no sense. Another thing that makes no sense is why the government is pushing the deadline to June 16th for companies to bid. So June 16th is literally 10 days from now, 7 days from now.
But you don't be surprised. I mean, this being Kenya, maybe someone else somewhere where have that piece of technology.
But we've been here before. When that my 1963 car launched, that was what, 6 years ago? Yeah. When it launched, the Ministry of Transport had issued a directive that the public transport sector needs to adopt this, blah, 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 blah. And even got the Matatu Owners Association to come on board for the launch. So it's not like we've not been here before in terms of going all guns blazing, kujipiga kifua and saying we're going to do this. We've been here before. And in terms of failing, we've also been here before. The Google card, ilikuwa inaitwaje? Beba what?
Beba Pay.
Beba what?
Yeah. You know, my worry is...
it was Beba Pay or something. It was what? Google and Equity Bank, right?
Was it Equity?
Yeah, it was Google and Equity Bank for Beba Pay.
Yeah. And that was what, like a year before my 1963 or something. And all of these, by then, they've been backed by the who's who in the world of tech, telecommunications,
and government,
financial institutions and government, and they failed spectacularly. Here right now, the leg up is because of COVID. We've seen the need for not using cash, but here is an interesting bit. Safaricom launched that initiative where they started with somewhat 200 Starbus shuttles where it's cashless, and then they later expanded it. At least I think I remember seeing a press release to that effect. Tokea hiyo siku mpaka wa leo, I've actually never been to any Matatu where that service is offered or you're encouraged to pay via M-Pesa. I haven't. I know it's there. I think I've even written about it based on the communication I got from Safaricom, but I've personally never used it. That should tell you something. And this was willing partners, Safaricom and these Matatus, and then everyone realizing we have a public health hazard, and this is the best way to go about it. And I haven't seen it. I haven't used it myself, and I use Matatus every other time I need to move from point A to point B. Much as movement has been limited these past few months, but I haven't seen it anywhere. So that's
on Matatus.
Yeah,
but I haven't heard of anyone saying the Safaricom M-Pesa thing works.
Have you used
it, Kanali?
Yeah, I've paid I think like twice my fare using M-Pesa. And it was just maybe 8 bob, 6 bob, and it actually works.
Is it Lipa and M-Pesa, or is it sent to the conductor's number?
You send their number to their phone number.
You sent to their phone number?
Yeah, to their phone number. I mean, that's what I...
So that's not what Safaricom was rolling out?
I know that's not the Safaricom bit, because we've been able to send to phone numbers for a while. I've been in Matatus, and the guy sitting next to me just tells the conductor, mimi nilisahau kubeba fare, letter number nikutumanie, and it always works all the time. So like that's not new. What my understanding is what Safaricom did with these Matatus is a bit different. There's like a till number or something, Silio?
Yeah, there was supposed to be till numbers for each Matatu where you pay Lipa and M-Pesa 0 transactions, 0 transaction costs.
Exactly.
So my worry is, of course there's a background to this. The idea of going cashless started way back, and as you said, Chenze, there are a lot of backlash. Then there's a lot of it actually didn't work. So my worry is, if it didn't work then, what do you think what makes you think it's gonna work this time around?
From where I see it, I don't know if it's going to work this time around. I really hope it does, because this is good. this is a good thing. But I'm very skeptical because of the approach being taken. The government has this approach where they sit here, and us as ordinary citizens, we sit somewhere huku chini. We are very far down in the pecking order, and
we never meet in ideas.
Exactly, and they can force just whatever they want down our throats. That is where they go wrong. Yeah. Because this thing will have had a lot of, I'd be saying how successful it will be if there was no the word mandatory in the statements they issued. Make this available, make it an alternative, let it be an option on the table, let it be there. Give us a whole 12 months. You'll see uptake. Yeah. It will be slow, but we'll get there. Squeeze you. Hata ukienda kwa mboga, you can buy your tomatoes.
And pay by M-Pesa.
Na ulipe na M-Pesa. Butchery ngapi umeenda where you can still pay via M-Pesa. And how long has it taken us to get there? M-Pesa has been around since 2008. Senor?
Yeah.
2007, 2008. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's taken us that long, but we are there now. I go to the bar and they have a till number, can pay. Go buy meat, there's a till number. It's become so common. It's not so common amongst PSVs, but who says it can't be? Even with taxis, at the start, you'd get into a cab, move from point A to point B, and then ukifika point B, when you don't have cash, you need to pay. That guy will tell you naweke ya kutoa, and it will be a quarrel. Others never even liked it. Today, it's not a quarrel anymore. But did anyone
but
tell
some actually have till numbers?
Exactly. And did anyone tell those guys they need to embrace M-Pesa? No one did. No one told them it was mandatory. They just realized customers are using this. This is always an option. It's convenient for everybody. It makes sense. And it just took its own course. And even in Matatu, it's not like people have not been paying with M-Pesa. The example I gave. Yeah. In any Matatu, unaweza panda between very early in the morning and late in the evening. There's someone somewhere paying via M-Pesa. And it always works. Nanga quarrel.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
my problem with the government's approach this time is not that they're doing this because they want us to go cashless. Rather, and listening to the president's speech, Leo, umeona, he's outlining the need for opening up the country.
Yeah.
First, he said cases need to go down. Second, he said counties need to have bed facilities for people getting sick. Then fourth, he said that there needs to be an established mechanism for contact tracing. So you saw the NTSA listing saying that the reason for going cashless is for them to be able to track contacts for fighting COVID-19. So that was the major problem for me, because are we going to use Matatus and who is going to handle the data from the payments na vitu kama hizo, when you already know that M-Pesa on its own has privacy issues with numbers and full names and all that?
In fact, that's why before you...
That informs why probably they're saying mandatory. Because by now a lot of our phones have received the silent update from Google or Apple. The contact tracing framework they've been working on since the start of May, which they promised to avail around this time.
So it's already available. The API is already available.
It's already available to our phones, whether you're on Android or iOS. It's somewhere in there. And then
except Windows Phone.
Governments get to build these nice solutions around it to enable them to contact trace. Maybe that informs why it's being said to be mandatory, because it wasn't making sense. Now that statement, that bit makes sense.
But are you sure the government of Kenya will be using any apps for any privacy apps to contact trace? Sema ni mgonjwa hospitali wanaenda kwa matatu zote alipitia.
No.
Well, for one, it's if you have to interrogate that, there are so many missing bits that we can only begin to try to understand when this is implemented, which is unfortunate. But also, I'm always for anything that makes me safe, because we don't know the trajectory of this pandemic, is welcome. But now, there's an ethical question. At what risk? At the risk of privacy? Yeah.
First
So
of all, my problem is I won't have a problem with the implementation of cashless if, one, we do not make it mandatory for. When you force it to be mandatory, you're giving the most used mobile money cashless system, M-Pesa, that leap. Unaelewa? So M-Pesa will have more people using it, and it will be forced upon everyone. Transactions, all M-Pesa. So my first problem was, can we make it mandatory? Yes, if it has to be mandatory, but make it, how do I put this? But make it such that no company benefits extra from government going cashless. Everybody who is in the cashless mobile money industry should benefit the same. So Safaricom should not get to control mobile money in Kenya because we went cashless. Two, I was thinking privacy should be properly stated, so that kama ni database ya Matatu ya watu walilipa leo kwa Matatu, sio manamba wanaona, sio NTSA wanaona, ni health ministry peke yake inaweza ona. So that isishuke kwa Matatu, ama mtu mwenye najua asishuke kwa Matatu alafu jioni manamba anamwambia nilikuona kwa Matatu leo nini, amemcall. Unaona?
Wait, so what you're saying, I mean, who should keep this data? Is it the government or NTSA?
That's the problem. We don't know who will get to keep this data. And what happens after Corona?
Or the association?
Unaona, what happens after Corona? We're done with Corona. Cashless is a must. What happens then? That's nini. Hiyo ni against privacy. Inamaanisha kuna wakati politicians wanaweza tumia that data against people.
Yeah, by the way, coming to think of it, the implications are huge. To just replace the catcalling that goes on in Matatus. Jioni jamaa anakaa anaanza kutext kila mtu. All manner of things. Yeah, it's terribly risky, and I don't know. But that bit about someone getting to almost get to a monopoly level, because I don't know, but like mobile money has been around for far too long. Anyone who's serious about playing in this industry should have made their own inroads and have the kind of name recognition that if today I'm going to access a service and their payment options, you are one of the options I consider. I'll give a good example of Equity and Equitel. Equitel is usually an option in a lot of the things that I do. I've bought stuff from Jumia, and on checkout, there's Equitel as an option. Where possible, I've always used it to avoid paying extra charges, which I'll incur if I use M-Pesa, for instance. And the same applies to quite a number of online purchases I make. Like if I'm buying electricity tokens, I'll do it directly from the easy banking application, which is Equity, or from my Equitel, instead of doing it directly via the available channels on M-Pesa, to just avoid the transaction fees. So the Equitel has been around not for as long as M-Pesa has been, but they've built their own these use cases for me, at least. I can't say the same about Airtel Money, which I've never used, but I know exists. So today, if a cashless platform comes and a lot of people just use M-Pesa because that's the platform they use and they are on, you really can't blame Safaricom or whoever is unveiling the platform. Someone ought to have done the groundwork. Kitambo. Should there be equity? Yes. Because trust me, Leo, kama e-citizen, do you know how much big of a boost it is to M-Pesa? Because those are government services, and that is what you must use. So for such a platform, you can fault that they don't provide an alternative, which is the thing that if the whatever cashless thing is going with Matatus needs to be avoided. But whether we'll use those other options available, even if providers, they ought to have made a case for themselves. Maybe kitembea mtaa is Equitel outlets everywhere. How many of us do pay rent from Equitel or co-op agents huku mtaani? They've made themselves useful. Someone else ought to do this. But also they should be given a seat at the table, so that kama you are sabotaging, just sabotage yourself.
I agree with you, Chenze. My argument was, Hii system yenye the NTSA is looking for, see, they have called for bid. So this system should be open to current all mobile money platforms. Isiwe just one. Everyone who has a mobile money solution should have a seat at the table. Then it should also be open for all future mobile money solutions. Because kesho Kanali anaweza amka na tulonchia hapa kikali sana.
But you know, as
na nasema na kama hajapewa the chance ya ku add solution yake kwa the payment platform, hivyo ndio nini yake imeisha. Argument ingine was that iwe hakuna haja wa Kenya wawe forced transaction cost for payment yenye imekuwa free. So hii platform lazima iwe free. Isiwe ati kama nilikuwa nalipa 60 bob, lazima nilipe 65 ya kutoa ama nini.
Definitely, I'll be the first one to protest when it comes to that.
Yeah. And
nalipa 40 bob, mimi usiongezea hata shilingi ingine.
Then you pay 100 bob.
The system is replacing. There was nothing
wrong with the existing system.
Yeah, exactly. Like, see, that's why they were up in arms with taxi guys and them wanting ukiwa namtumia fare na umtumie na ya kutoa. Like, what the hell? Yeah.
But you know, my question is, cashless is cashless. So instead of them trying to at least build, an independent system to do this, why can they just work with mobile money service providers? For example, Safaricom or these. It's cashless still. If I pay via M-Pesa, that's still cashless. If I pay via Airtel Money or inaitwaje Telcom?
Hiyo.
Ni T-Cash, si ndio?
Hiyo ya Telcom, M-Pesa ya Telcom.
Yeah, if you pay using the M-Pesa at Telcom, that's still cashless. So why can't they work with, such service providers? Like you see what Safaricom was trying to do with Matatus now. Why can't NTSA just work with them and just, instead of inviting bid support to build different systems,
I think having a system is important because it makes everyone equal. But I don't know what system NTSA will launch. That's why Bado tuna argue that the systems will be equal. Also, I think NTSA wants to streamline tax collection because ukisema watu accept digital cash
so they want to know how much money Matatus are making.
Without seeing where they're getting the money, I think it won't work. So I think they want something that makes sense to track tax collection.
I don't know. I don't know anything about that. But yeah, what you are saying.
And also, like this system, as you said earlier, they are talking about using this system to do what? I read their statement. The statement they sent out was saying that they want to, which Dickson spoke about earlier, the platform, they are to provide a platform for deployment of an effective contact tracing application to support the government effort in addressing the coronavirus pandemic. So again, is this something temporary for this period or something, long term?
Do you think if we go cashless mandatory mpaka September kuda kurudi back?
One way trip to Canada. It's like the pandemic provides the best chance to beta test a lot of things and see what sticks. And also, I don't know what the implications are if this one also fails. What will that mean? Because we already have enough failures.
It will mean Kenyans wamekataa kulipia matatu na M-Pesa.
Because I don't know, but I'm really looking forward to see it work. Because honestly, as you've seen how things have been going since coronavirus started in it's never been a hassle paying things, going cashless. People have been doing it. Yeah. So
actually,
Matatus, I don't know.
Past implementations have been good. It's just that we usually have a huge communication and execution problem for such solutions. Yeah. It's why One Tap failed. Because there's just no willingness to just go further. Like the very first initiative via Google Equity Bank, the people were paying. It was NFC.
It was really good.
Yeah, and actually they got critical mass. It was in all those ilikuwa city hoppers or whatever. I used to see it everywhere. Yeah. It's just the usage bit that was lacking. Number one, usage. Number two, patience to stick with it for too long, for a while. And number three, just awareness.
Plus opposition from Matatus owners. Most of them were really against it.
Because a contactless card to me makes sense. I like it's something I carry around, and then the phone becomes like secondary. Also, the phone can work fine, but also the card is there. It's easy, tap and go. Like that made so much sense. I'm wondering how the implementation with M-Pesa will go, and also in terms of time saving. Unajua venye fare ukuanga one time. The only one thing I like about this is I don't have to be worried for the 20 minutes trip that sitapata change. Well, you know the anxiety ukipatia mtu 1K na haja kurudishia, you don't think about anything else later too because you just think about something else. Your destination gets unashuka unasahau change ya 920. See, that's the upside. The downside is if this system is not that efficient, if it's like what we see in supermarkets, unaanza kulipa na queue forms behind you. Yeah, imagine that. Yeah, that can be, I mean, especially for Matatus that do short stops.
True.
Nafika bado mtu ana struggle kulipa, transaction code haijafika. It's it's a full mess. Like I don't know what to like to figure out, but it needs to be so smooth. Like it needs to be better than what we have. Because if it's going to lead to delays, mko hapo mmejazana kwa mlango in this era of social distancing, everyone is trying to connect their code, doesn't work. Like so far, Civil's implementation, even though they don't like pushing their mobile wallet, but looks like the best bit. Even it is not without its problems, because most of us prefer to pay cash. Unafika dereva anaanza kusimama, blah blah blah, that cash bit, blah, yeah. But now I'll take the wallet route, and it can be almost very seamless. Like there are lots of things to iron out, and I think those are some of the things that have made it not to be widely adopted. Of course, the other bits is the way the industry runs. The industry, Matatu, is full of loopholes where people make money, because that's how it sustains itself. Now, when you go cashless, it means there's a lot of transparency between the circles, the Matatu owners, and all that. And the pilferage that usually happens in between is erased, and that is, I think, what will be fought. Because kuna watu dandia, like kama nimejaza kutoka Tao and I'm going to Makadara or somewhere in Buru, blah blah. There's the fixed fare, but then kuna watu kama natumia Mombasa Road, kuna watu watashuka huko njiani, and that becomes my money since no one can account for it. But nikitoka, if I belong to this circle yenye huwa analog pale Kencom, nikitoka wali indicate tumebeba full capacity, which is fine, so I'll give them money for the full capacity. But in between watu nimebeba ni wangu. See, that is why this system has actually failed before. So I don't know how the new system will accommodate all of us to keep an entire industry running and all those things, and how it will even make it safer. All those gangs in these stops, because they all rely on the money. Yeah, because all those are the factors that affect the success. It's twofold. There's the bit where I am just a passenger who pays. And there's also the bit where that entire industry has its own players who are not the owners, who are in bed with the government to say this is a good thing. Yeah.
I feel like if the government had if we had real public transport, here ingekuwa issue. But we have private transport, alafu tunaita public transport. If we had real public transport, kila kitu ingekuwa streamlined.
So something like the BRT system, if it was there, I mean, this cashless will really be effective, right?
It will be so easy.
BRT run by, say, the county government or something centralized, something that is not in the hands of private people who decide what works and what doesn't, and all those things. Because it's not like we are inventing the wheel. This is something that is done elsewhere. Very well. Yeah, very, very well. But then Matatus have had a head start for 40, 50 years for so long. Yeah. They we say Matatu culture, and we just don't mean the graffiti. It's a proper culture. And when you're going to say you are going cashless, you are affecting that culture in a big way. So you that's why I'm not for this mandatory thing, because cultures have ways of adapting. Like today, it's universally accepted to just use M-Pesa in this country. Even when M-Pesa has failed in other countries because of culture issues. Yeah, so when you're coming, and then Matatu is so obvious. It's how almost every Kenyan moves around. Why it's never gone cashless. There's a whole PhD thesis or masters to be done on the same. Yeah, and I hope by the since I can give them the benefit of the doubt that this thing is being handled by experts, people who know what they are doing, people who have the research and everything, that they'll have all those corners covered. Because for me, from where I see it, I just want to see it succeed. It's a good thing.
Interesting. But you know, the thing is...
the approach, upon no question marks, Ziko, was knowing the Matatus the way we know them, iko shida.
But you know, I mean, forcing people to adopt it, I mean, as you said, of course, that's the main problem. But, you know, we can't turn away from privatization of the Matatu sector, actually. Because I think if it was owned by the county government, for example, I think it would be a mess, a complete mess. Ama, do you think it would be any better?
It will be better. It will be centralized. It's like
I think it will be better if it was owned by the county government.
It will be better. I know we don't associate government with efficiency here.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Which is unfortunate, but it's the reality. But it will be like it would have a very high survival chance from the get-go, because this is what other cities, other countries have doing. Yeah. You have.
I think.
Like
you've seen,
like there are not so many moving parts.
If the government controlled the public transport system, one, I feel like we will have more accountability because we will know whom to blame for any issues. Unaona? It will be easier to know who the driver, the conductor for each particular matatu, and if they did anything wrong, whom to blame, who to accuse. It will also be easier to demand for more. Unaona? Right now, you can't demand for anything from a matatu because it's a private person's business. If it's a public transport system that's owned by a government, you can point fingers and blame. Unaweza blame Sonko wakati kuna shida ya matatu. Unaweza blame somebody mwenye anasimamia matatus maybe kwa county. But right now, you can't push blame on anyone. Also, you can't force anyone to kubali kulipwa with the form of payment yenye government imeset. Utaingia kwa matatu na wakwambia sisi hatukubali hiyo. What will you do?
There's also the bit where
I don't
know if the motive for pushing this is a very an approach I don't like, where technology is supposed to fix every problem that we have. We've had a chaotic matatu industry that has its own issues, and trust me, tech will be the last thing that fixes them. They need fixing of their own. Technology is an enabler, not a fixer. It works where you already have things going for you. Like M-Pesa took off here because there was need for financial services, that kind of financial inclusion, and banks weren't servicing that need. So it came. It just didn't fix any of the. It just came and fulfilled a need. So
and
like
worked.
That, and that need is what. If we are going cashless, it should be what we have identified is being fulfilled, not a way of taming rogue people or trying to track,
rushing to contract people,
things all track tracing, or it will fail spectacularly. Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm really happy that NTSA is really trying to, should I say, just open their eyes, because for a long time, even them themselves, despite having people there like the likes like Fernando, who guys who actually really believe in IT, there's so much against some of these things. Like, see what they were doing to Swivel, you know. So I'm really happy they're really trying to see, okay, now we can actually use tech to solve some of these problems.
I think it can look like that outside. Like, huko ndani kuna pesa imegawiwa, sijui nini, tuacheni. Yeah.
This is why I'm very skeptical. When you see all of a sudden they're very forward thinking, because it should be... it should not be so hard to be pro anything that ensures efficiency and transparency and makes it life easier for the everyday commuter. So when
they shouldn't have taken that long to do things like this with people.
Because that lack of order is why a lot of people actually embraced and liked the idea of these e-matatus, Swivel and the rest. You see, Yeah, so it shouldn't, maybe they have helped them see the light, but it shouldn't have taken that. And to be honest, I wouldn't be as optimistic as you. I'd be very skeptical about the change of heart. There's something that influences it.
Yeah.
Now
I'm waiting to see. I'm waiting to see if Little revives their Little Shuttle project.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just waiting to see the scandal surrounding this system that will dominate our front pages sometime next year.
Not even next year, even towards the end of this year. And I think that's someone, I mean, I'm not sure if it was Dickson or you, Chenze, you spoke about motives. There must be something behind this. Yeah.
Somebody has the contract already, I believe.
Yeah, exactly. That's why you see like the timelines they gave. How many days? I mean, next
week, 16th.
Yes, exactly. That's like 2 weeks or 10 days.
And you have to look at every tech company who has made a bid. You have to evaluate if their bids are valid. I don't know if it will be one system for all Matatus, which also doesn't make sense because there's so many Matatus. Unless it's one system per county, I don't understand. Also, who will be looking at this system and ensuring that they are maintained, they are working? Kenya.
I just hope when we publish this, we'll have a lot of people contributing who have the answers, because there's so much personally that I don't know. This whole thing is like almost confusing, and the worst bit is the rollout is so soon. We're actually going to get slapped with it and learn on the go. So
I feel like the pushing of it to mandatory very soon is one of the factors that make it die very quick.
And I think that's what I was saying. Instead of just, doing all this work, having people bid, tech companies bid, having to build systems, why can't they just talk to, because most of these Matatus are owned privately, right? So why can't they just talk to these Matatu owners, tell them, okay, guys, here's what we do. I want us guys to go cashless. Each
circle must implement something.
Yes. Yeah. You talk to any service providers, get a team number or something, then instead of building just one standard system to use across, right? Because at the end of the day, this money, I end NTSA, right? This money, I end them. These conductors, is going to the Matatu owner. So it's up to them to build a system. If it's a till number, for example, nikipata hiyo pesa, skodi ikifunga, I go through the numbers, the figures. Now, okay, this time round, pesa imeingia hii. Instead of building a system separately, that's a lot of work.
Like I said, Kanali, I think the important bit happer for the government is the tracing, contact tracing, and the taxation. That's why they want one system.
One system which Chenze said, we hope it works.
It won't work.
I'm trying to stay positive.
Yeah. We hope it works because based on what we've seen before. Okay, as we wind up, I'm going to try to see if I follow Fernando Angila a lot, and I'm sure he's the head of IT at NTSA. So I'm going to just do some follow-up. I ask him how this is going to work. Or
you can send him this link after I've uploaded it.
Sorry?
What his thoughts are.
I didn't get that, sorry.
I'm saying, or you can send him the link to this video after I make it live. His thoughts.
Then we see. But I'll be happy to hear what people's opinions are about this. The idea of being cashless is really nice. Are people up to it? And the fact that Matatu owners are okay with it. Of course, we should be okay with it. Based on, of course, all of us are trying to stay safe because of the COVID situation. But yes, I hope, to see it work. Though I'm still not positive. But anyway, I will still wait. I will have to wait and see. Sawa? Okay, I think that's it for now. My name is Nick Kanali. I blog at techtrends.co.ke.
Dickson Otieno, techish.com.
Emmanuel Chenze, Kenya.
Yes, and Kaluka Tekarena is not around. So, yes. Until next time, we'll see you guys.